Hello loves, hello, hello, it's Hills here from the Blue Flame Apothecary. It is time for the Pisces new moon. I've been feeling an elusivity. You could spell that with an E or an I. Elusiveness or elusiveness. About this moon. Part of the reason for that is there is a lot of new energy being born through this moon. And it's about time. It's about time. I'm recording this on Friday, the 17th. Yesterday, the 16th, the sun was exactly conjunct the Lord of Time, Saturn. Saturn is making its last little transition through Aquarius right now. By the full moon, on the full moon, in fact, Saturn will shift into Pisces. The new moon itself is in Pisces, but in the first degree. So it's a mixed sign conjunction with Saturn at the 28th degree of Aquarius. Saturn is also almost exactly trine to Hecate, moving backwards through Gemini, because Mars's backwards motion through Gemini all of last year was not enough. Hecate had to get in on the party. And Horus over in Libra. There is there's even more. I mean, it keeps going. Neptune is making an exact square to Hecate in Pisces. Neptune is in Pisces. The master of illusions. One of the ways that it feels like we can start to dip our toes into this elusive energy is by exploring through the veils, and in particular through the veil of the fourth dimension, which is time. Myself and many other people who speak in these energetic terms and of the new earth and light workers and star seeds and ascension often talk about how Gaia has transitioned now into the fifth dimension. And that we, humanity as a species, are also making this transition. Some of us have kind of connected to our fifth dimensional selves or our seventh dimensional selves, or maybe even beyond. What this means is that we are learning that we do not have to sit underneath the veil of time anymore. That time, as we had previously engaged with it, is changing. And part of the way that we can experience this is through the birthing of quantum knowledge. quantum computing and quantum entanglement and quantum this and quantum that. And part of what this is helping us to see is that it's not just a straight line. This morning in meditation, I was feeling into the dance between Chronos, which is that Saturnian time, that concept of linear time, or chronological time. That's where that word chronological comes from, is Chronos. The dance between, which is also divine masculine, Shiva, and Kairos, which is also divine feminine. It is cyclical time, the cycles of nature, the lunar cycle, various ways in which there's a Japanese plum tree outside my house. And right now it's all full of blossoms because we had a lot of rain, cold snap, and then sun. So the Japanese plum tree is like, ooh, it's spring. Let me get all pretty. And it's going to fruit. And then it will probably do so again in May, because the way that the seasons run in San Francisco, it gets 2 blooms. This might not be true if it lived somewhere else. And this is helping us also to see that time varies depending on where you are. The cycles vary depending on where you are. Even the new moon itself is keying us in on this. The new moon is happening, it's peaking at 1st degree of Pisces at 11:03 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. What that means is that for almost the entire population of the Earth's human population anyways, excuse me, the new moon is actually on the 20th, not the 19th. But for me, it's on the 19th. Depending on who you're talking to and where they are, it could be a different time. And this is helping us to see that, to feel that time is a human construct. It is something that we have created to help us make sense of the world around us. And we've put limits on ourselves through it. The speed of light. Nothing can travel faster than the speed of light, except for information from one quantum entangled piece and another quantum entangled piece, which happens instantaneously. I keep hearing unified field theory, unified field theory. The holy grail of physics, right? And we come back to Chronos and Kairos. We have been viewing Chronos as almost like what our 3D perception of a piece of paper is, this flat surface that we can travel from end to end on. When in reality, what Chronos is more like the sky. It's more like the sky. It flows in a circular motion. The cycles, Shakti, Kali, the divine feminine, flow within this. It is the stage upon which life itself dances. So as we start to flow into this new that's coming in, as all of these massive shifts are really building up steam now, I invite you to explore the ways that you maybe have limited your thought patterns with regard to time, how much time you have to do something. This brings me into flow state also. We hear a lot about flow state, and part of what flow state is a dance. It's that Kairos dance with Chronos. Like, ooh, let me feel, okay, I'm supposed to be here right now, and this opens up because I was there where I was meant to be in that moment. And now I'm feeling called over here in this moment, and this flowed through. I had a really amazing flow state day on the 15th and 16th. I'm still feeling that flow right now, even as I'm here recording this for us. And I said some words a couple of moments ago, supposed to. I'm trying to weave that out. I'm trying to weave that out of my lexicon and weave in meant to. I was meant to be. It was meant to be. This energy, one of the other reasons that it feels so elusive is what is opening up in March are a group of energies that many people on this planet have never experienced before. Saturn has not been in Pisces since 1993, the year I graduated from high school and wrote a poem randomly about time. Pluto, right around the tip-off into Aries season, is going to shift out of Capricorn and into Aquarius for the first time. There's no one on this planet that's been through the experience of Pluto and Aquarius before. I'm feeling so whimsical, almost. Whimsical is a good word for it. There's so much energy of new, of potentiality, of I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something there. What is it? What is it? What is it? And this gives us such an opportunity. In the days, in these last couple of weeks of February, we have some amazing energies going on. That green comet is going to be sailing through the region of space where we see the stellar dimension of Orion and the Pleiades and Sirius. The planet of love, Venus, is going to meet conjunct with Jupiter in Aries, just as February gives way to March. Really expanding our capacity to hold love and to be in our heart space as we birth this new, as we allow this new to shift through. Aries is about new energy. I will also be facilitating a live circle on the 28th of February, and I will be sharing more information about that. That is not in the members portal, that will be for everyone. It's still coming in, but just to put a pin on the 28th, because there will be a beautiful transmission. It feels very blue flame, love, heart center opening, coming through to help support us as this new energy starts to shift through. My invitation to you as we move through this Pisces new moon energy over these next couple of days into next week is to explore all of the different ways that you can enter flow state. That you can start to re-experience your relationship with time and with karma, because Saturn is also about karma. And an interesting way to begin to explore this is, what would karma present as? How would you interpret your soul's path if you were above the dimension of time and able to see all of the paths that you laid out for yourself in your life planning session before you came into your incarnation this time around? You could see all of the various paths that you've taken through your soul's journey. And you can see all of the various choose your own adventure that your free will in this life was laid out for. I had a dream about a week and a half ago, maybe a little more than that. And in the dream, I actually got to experience that, being in the room in Arcturus. You know, that's the way my mind created it. It's probably not a physical room with a vid screen. Working with this being and mapping out all of the various permutations of what this life, what this incarnation might have in store. There was some funny stuff in there also. You know, I have not had an easy life. There's many, many aspects of my young life that were really challenging, really, you know, trauma, abuse, then very, very sick in my 30s, into my 40s, mostly late 30s. These periods of time, as I was in that life planning session, I was feeling uncomfortable, like, oh, I'm really packing a lot in, a lot for my little young self in particular to have to hold. And the being that was helping me was like, yeah, but you're going to get to take a lot of LSD in this life, so, you know, you've got that going for you. And we both laughed. I did really like LSD when I was in high school and in my 20s. Speaking of expansive, that's a very expansive energy. I want to feel if there's any of the other astrological beings that want to come into this update. There is a lot, and I'm going to put that into the Cosmic Light Drops. I'm still working on it, and I'll have a link below. By the time you're watching this, it's probably going to be available already. Shiva is dancing with Neptune, helping us create that structure and foundation. Helping us create that structure and foundation as we move through the dreamland, through those realms that are so hard for our tangibility to grasp. I also highly, highly recommend as much grounding exercises as you can possibly bring in over these next couple of weeks. It's always great to get out into nature, even if it's standing next to a tree outside your city apartment and hugging it. Wherever you're at, get as close to nature in the elemental kingdom as you can. We are evolving as the earth is evolving, and there is so much light hitting us, and there is so much new energy coming through that most of us have never experienced before. New ways of being in the world, new capacities coming online, and it can really fray our systems. It can really fray our systems. So, carry pyrite or shungite, black tourmaline. Walk barefoot on grass. Really get into embodied showering, like being in your body as you shower. Take a dance class. I started doing that. It's amazing. Like, really connect with the food that you're eating as you're eating it. All of these are examples of ways. They are not the only way, and there's one of them may resonate more than the other, but Ceres, goddess of the harvest, is actually exactly conjunct Osiris during this new moon also. So that really helps you to, as you connect in with what you eat, with the food and what you consume in general. Ceres is about what we consume. Not necessarily just food, but also the media that we take in, the conversations that we take part in. All of these things are what we're consuming. They're what we're feeding ourselves. And Osiris is about remembering, putting yourself back together, right? So as these two move together, there's a really beautiful way that we can also play around with remembering ourselves through what we take in, the information, the nourishments that we give ourselves. Allowing that to be part of our wholeness. I'm looking at my notes. There is one other thing. There is one other thing as we close. The chart for this new moon is really, really strong through Aquarius and Pisces into Aries. And it's almost as if we're getting to see this pathway that's being laid out as we start to move towards March. So that we're being gifted an ability to start to feel the energy, to open our heart spaces and our minds and our entire beings to this energy so that it can start to get in there and do things. Like an easing down the road sort of energy, right? Ease on down that road. So we can not be shocked too much when the shifts happen in March. Oh. If you're feeling like you're wired and then you need to sleep a lot over these next couple of weeks, also really listen to your body. Listen to your being. What is it that I need most in this moment? And this is also part of getting above time. We have put so many expectations upon ourselves regarding time. Oh, I'm almost 30, I should be married and have kids. All of these, oh, I've graduated from high school, I better be moving on to college. Oh, it's time to move out of my parents' house. All of these like very time activated points. And part of what we're being gifted now is a remembering that we are all unique. And so what is true for your sister or brother might not be true for you. But what was true for your mom or dad is probably not true for you. You're an entirely different being with entirely different gifts and talents. Some of them will be inherited, of course. I mean, we all have places where we meet, but we're all also completely unique. So the way that the gift flows through you will be different than the way that it flows through someone else who has a similar gift. Like two painters are very rarely painting the exact same thing. So as you're listening to your body, to how you're called to move from moment to moment, this is part of how we access that flow state. This is how we access that flow state. This is how we become that Shakti and that Shiva. We get to dance upon the surface of our innate knowings. In the members portal, I'll be facilitating the live new moon circle on Sunday. If that calls to you, please come. There'll be a link below. Come check out the members portal and join our community and come celebrate the new moon with us and all of the other ways that we dance and weave together. If this video spoke to you, if you enjoyed it, please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share it if that is what calls also. And as always, I love seeing the comments and weaving with you in that space. So leave me a comment and let me know, what does flow state mean to you? How do you feel like you are connecting with time and karma in a different way? How are these unfolding and unwrapping and reweaving themselves for you? May you have a beautiful, beautiful birthing of this new moon. And as always, in always, and through and beyond all the dimensions, so much and many loves to you.